Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Today Peter is going to show you how he does high key. So this is most likely his pretty standard setup for high key, and he's going to run through it. This is what he would do for clients if they've got lookbooks or e-commerce, and he's going to show you how you can do high key with the model wearing white and have all of the detail in the clothing and have nothing exposed but still have that high key look.
So I have different levels of the high key that I do, and it's high key without a shadow type of high key. And this is about my minimal level that I would do. I would never do anything commercially less than 3 lights. So I'll just talk you through it. So I have a light each side in a V flat, and the V flat is pointed back to the wall. And I try and have nothing light past this point here, so the model doesn't get any light from these lights at all. So with the bronze colors, I have the ability to wind the lights in and out. I fully wind them out to use as much that tube as possible, so it's going to bounce in there and bounce back here. And I'm trying to get a very even light on the wall. So exactly the same thing I've got in this side, pretty much mimicked it. So I come around a touch more. I can open and close these and move them around to do things. The next level above this, I would run 2 lights in here. So I'd have one down here and one at here. But this is what I call my starting level. And then I normally just run an Octabox from the front. So I haven't taken a shot yet. The other thing I have is on the floor especially, you can see we've got a dirty floor here, but normally on a commercial shoot we'd have a clean floor, but we might have to have a model or 2 models here for over 8 hours. So this piece of floor ends up getting filthy, which means it has to be cleaned out, whereas most clients like this reflective surface and it doesn't get any dirtier. And I have a mark where the model's to stand every time, so I don't have to keep focusing. So I haven't taken any shots yet, but what I want to do is now get the back wall as even as I can. So I'm just going to take a shot of the back wall. And this is how I light the back wall. So I've got my overexposure warning and it's set at 245. I want to try and get as much of this wall sitting below 254. I don't really want to find anywhere on the wall at 255. I don't mind up here so much because it's really easy. I can just dodge and burn up there. But in this area in the middle, this is where the model's going to be. I don't want to have to be dodging and burning the background in there. And I don't want this so bright it's coming back down the camera like a light. So straight away I can see that this side light is slightly brighter than this side light. So I'm going to turn up this side maybe 1/3 of a stop. And I'll take this up maybe 2/10 of the stop. And I'm just going to keep doing this till I can get a nice even fill. So it's starting to even out. So I might do exactly the same thing again. Right, this is getting to the stage where the model now, a lot of the back wall behind the model is now going to be covered. I don't have to do as much dodging and burning. And all I'm doing is looking at my figures down in this bottom area and running my eyedropper tool, and I'm seeing 255 in here. And this is what I don't want. As I come away from there, I'm getting down to the 240, 54s. Over this side, I'm getting exactly the same thing. So I'm just going to vary. I'm pulling the lights further back, which is turning the power down a bit, but it's also should be giving me a bigger spread of light. So let's see what this gives me. Right, now I'm getting my 254s. This one is still giving me 255 there. So I need to spread the lights a bit further. And all I'm doing is I'm opening up the V more. By me opening up the V, I might just bring this back here a touch further. And yes, I know this seems time consuming, but when we want to shoot things like tulle, right, so that's turned that down. We're now down to 254s, so that's fine. I've got nothing going completely over. Dust spots, you can now see I have some dust spots on my sensors because they're showing up in my overexposed area. So I'm just going to quickly clean that off. Yes, and I can see them on there too. Yeah, it's cleaned all the dust off my sensor. So that's at a point that I'm happy to bring the model in and start lighting the model. Now, the one thing I didn't say before is I've also put these two black cutters each side, and you'll see this will give me a black line around the model, which will separate her off the background even if she's wearing white. Right, so I've just put the Octa on, and this Octa's pointing to here. Now, the main reason I'm doing this, I want to get some bounce and get some light on the floor, but I'm trying to get an evenness throughout on Anna. And it will give me a slightly flatter light, which I can add contrast. And what I'm going to do is just slowly bring up the power on Anna. So put that one stop higher. You'll see I'm just slowly going to step it up step by step, because you should see the background will light up a fraction more, but I can't help that because that's what's going to happen just because there's extra light in this place. I'm just going to keep on bringing her up till I get her. I'd expect her boots to be the first thing to overexpose. Right. So we're just going off on her top there. Now, once I get to the point of just going off, that's when I'm going to bring in a colour checker, because a lot of the time when we're doing high key, it's either for commercial or we're trying to get a more accurate colour. Do you want to just hold that for a minute? Cool. Just right close to your face. Cool. Just going to zoom in and select my eyedropper tool. Now, if I'd used a light meter on Anna, I would have had the exact same thing. When a light meter says you're correctly exposed, white will be overexposed. So I'm just gonna, this area here and here are made up of equal parts red, green, and blue. And if I come to this swatch just below this swatch, it's saying it's 243, 243, 229. So it's not equal parts. By me clicking here on this swatch here, that's now made it equal parts red, green, blue. Now, what you would have thought is this has just added some magenta, but what it's done is pulled the blue out. So now I come up to here, it's reading all 240. Right, so now that I've got Anna color corrected, I've got my exposure right on the edge, but it's where I need, I've only got to do a slight bit of dodging and burning around this bottom area here. I'll just take one more shot, but I'm going to turn off the overexposure meter because we don't need it anymore, because I want you to be able to see the detail we're getting here now. Right, so that's locked in all my settings. You can see that this is lit perfect right down, and when I come into the tulle, see how we can see the edge of the tulle. See how we've still got detail in all our whites here. None of it's lost, but we're now high key. A couple of little things I'll do in post to vignetting. I'll take it positive, which means I'm throwing more light onto the outside edges. That's where I want it. I quite often with this will put a little boost in the mid. So what I do, I'll lock in my curve round about my 245, and I'll lock in my shadows round about the 14-15. So I'm not changing my shadows or my highlights, but I'll just boost the middle a little bit. And if I put my overexposure warning back on, you'll see that's really not having any real effect. See how the overexposure warnings are not changing? So I can pull this up a bit. My blacks can most likely pull down a fraction here, and it'll give me that nice contrast, but I'm protecting my whites by there. So that's giving me a nice little boost. Now if I just punch a tiny bit of contrast in here, and I'm just watching here, but even in here, that's saying 244. So I've still got room in here, but this is giving me this nice sort of contrast boost. Now, the one thing is if I do lift my contrast, I quite normally just drop my saturation by the same. So I've took contrast up by 8. I'll take 8 out of my saturation, which means I haven't changed Anna's skin too much. I don't need to go that far, about 6. Now, if we're shooting commercially or shooting any other way, this outside area is really easy to fix because you just sort of marquee tool it out and just tell it to be pure white because that's what you're trying to get. Let's just work with this to start with. Anne loves her fan, so we've got to give her some fan. just drop this a touch lower. The reason I'm dropping it lower, this will make Anne look taller or make her legs look longer. Just gonna check. That's giving me a great look. Now, I've left a little bit of room above Anna because I do want to just her play around and be able to use her arms a little bit. But I'll just snap off a few shots, get a shot, and then I'll make her change. And at the very end, I'll do a quick retouch to show you my, basically it's a 3 to 5 second retouch. So just off you go. All right, cool. Nice. That's cool. That's really cool. It's really pretty. Maybe tuck that big lump of hair just behind you rather, because it looks weird. It looks like a sash. Is that cool? Cool? Nice. And now give me some of your on-stage presence. Like you're performing. Cool. Cool. That's really cool. Cool. I like that. With Anna, it is all about the hair. The hair's her most important thing. She doesn't care about her eyes or her face. As long as her hair looks good, Anna's happy. That's pretty cool. All right, so the one thing I want to do a change with this, I just want to show you, we're going to give her some tulle. And I don't know if you just want to hold it or clip it in, or you can do whatever you like. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I want people to be able to see the separation we're still getting by having the black walls each side and getting our light balanced. You'll see that we'll be able to see how we can see all of the tulle in there. So even when I zoom in, see how we can see the finest of edges on this. By bringing my overexposure warning, it's going to look like it's going through the tulle. Actually, the overexposure warning's off the back wall, and we're not getting Anna backlit from the back wall at all. So just give a couple of shots on that. Cool. That's really cool. And because I've got Anna on a spot and already focused, I don't have to focus each frame except when she steps forward like that. But she only did that to make me have to get down and focus. Cool, I like that. I really like that. That's cool. That's really cool. It's really cool. Nice. What I might just do now is just very quickly come in and we can do some now, cool, mid-length or even head shots with this. Cool. Work your eyes. That's cool. That's really cool. Nice, nice. That's pretty. Nice. That's really pretty. That's beautiful. One other little trick, I do this a bit with my clients, just if they need a hero shot with their campaign, is I'll do tricks like I'll come in here, I'll get that black wall halfway through the model. Cool, that's really pretty. And you'll see we have here now half black, half white type of shot. But I could do, which side do you prefer me on? Oh, this side. All right, so I could come in here and I can come in and do a really nice little tight headshot on Anna and have nothing but black. Cool, that's pretty. And that'll give a nice black. So just from a client's point of view, I can shoot all black. Cool. Let's come in here. That's pretty, that's really pretty. I can do a little bit of 50-50. I can do, just put an edge on there or come, that's really pretty. That's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. That's pretty, that's really pretty. Cool. So this is my quick and simple high key cleanup. Normally would have had this cropped, so I'm just going to quickly remove the two ends just with content aware marquee tool and content aware on a commercial shoot, these would have been pre-cropped in RAW. So what I've got my computer set up for, because I used to do this type of work a lot, is the ease of getting this border to be pure white. If I hit the F key 3 times, it runs through the 3 screens of Photoshop. So there's the first screen, there's our second screen, there's our third screen. Now, this isn't default. So if we come into default, this is what our third screen looks like. So all I've done is come in here, select a custom color, and with my custom color, I've set it to 255 red, green, and blue, which gives me the pure white. Now I can see where mine was not white. And you can see this is the reason why I like using my highlight alerts. I can really fine tune this stuff. So I'll flick back to show you, just with a dodge tool set to highlights. So you can set your dodge to highs, mids, or shadows. I've set to highlights. I've got an exposure of 5%, and I've set my brush really, really soft. So I'm just gonna get back to my screen. Now with this, it's just as simple as I've just gotta be careful on white. If she was wearing black, it wouldn't be any problem at all, but I made my job hard being on white. And it's just a matter of painting, and you'll see that all of a sudden it just disappears. And this is what I found the best way to get that high key flawless white. But you'll see, if you look really careful, a really center isn't white, but that doesn't matter. Everyone only worries about the border. Once I get in closer to the outfit, again, if she was wearing black boots, I know it could be very sloppy, but because she's wearing white, I have to be a little bit more careful. I'm just gonna bring my brush down in steps to clean up and try not to get too much bleed onto the white area. Come down now nice, and the problem is the smaller you go, the less feather you get, so you've got to be careful. I just want to feather it off. I'll just work this area in here. That's most likely enough in there, and just run it up in between. Take it down a touch more. Right, so that's pretty much cleaned up. Now, the one thing I do when I'm working with white, I'm going to zoom in on this, just down to the boot area. You'll see I've got a little bit of bleed over with my dodging and burning. So what I'm going to do is, if I just go back to my history tool, and I set my history tool at my state of, say, the very first dodge and burn, you'll see my history tools set at 10% flow with a soft brush. So with this, all I'm going to do is keep the brush quite small because I can be a little bit more, and I can just paint back the little bit of detail I might have pulled out in that edge of the boot, and maybe a little bit of more detail back into that little bit of edge there. And that's it. So before and after.
So we hope you guys enjoyed that and hope that was helpful for you. If it was and you want to check out some more videos, we do have heaps of this kind of stuff down on Inspire. But if you want to stay over here, then I'll pop some other videos on the screen now.